Hey everybody, my name is Lowell and welcome to the channel. So we have a sponsored video today. Thank you very much, Rebecca, for this one. All she says in the note is, this is the reason why I left Florida for good. So let's jump in. This is going to be Hurricane Ian. I believe it's 2022. So a story of survival. So let's jump in and is that it? Look at the size of it already. Holy moly. Let's listen.
Storm Ian is strengthening in the Caribbean and is forecast to batter Florida as a major hurricane next week.
A hurricane barreling toward Florida during a state of emergency for all 67 counties and activating thousands of National Guardsmen.
But not do it too early in case there's a last-minute shift in the storm's track, as we have seen in recent years with examples like megastorms.
Oh, they're living a dream, you know, and like, there's no way that ocean's coming up into my living room.
Oh my God. You know what? I grew up by the beach with cyclones and everything. The one thing you learn about the ocean, is you don't care. You don't give a stuff who you are, what you are, where you live. If it's coming up, it's coming up. It doesn't matter. You don't care. Damn, look at that. Ooh. Holy moly. Dang. Yeah, look at that. Look at the waterway. Woo.
Summer 2022. Communities are rebuilding, tourists are returning, and all is normal as a very quiet tropical season had most breathing a sigh of fresh air from the hellacious hurricane seasons of the past. But that era was about to turn dark and cold, and what this year was about to prove is that it only takes one storm to make an overall slow season memorable, and for all of the wrong reasons. The U.S. was able to avoid any major impacting events through the peak of hurricane season. However, a sleeping bear was beginning to awake from its slumber as a tropical wave began to enter the Caribbean. Ian had his eyes set on Florida, but was expected to weaken upon approach as wind shear would increase closer to landfall. We didn't know it yet, but Ian's forecast would be anything but, and the deadliest disaster we have ever documented was waiting to unfold, and an unlikely story of survival would bond us to a couple Floridians for the rest of our lives.
All right, so we are south of Fort Myers, or no, where are we? North of Fort Myers. We're north of Fort Myers, heading south towards Fort Myers. We just left Punta Gorda, so we're scoping out all these locations along the coastline to see where we want to ride out the storm, because it's going further and further south every run.
Take note of all the beauty, as this once thriving community was just one day away from total disaster.
Nothing but your footprints.
We didn't realize it at the time, just how daunting this statement on this sign would be. As Ian began his final approach and inched closer and closer to the Florida coast, we topped off our tanks, still extremely unsettled by how many people appeared to be staying behind for the storm. This would be the last time we'd see this beautiful oasis in its current state, and deployed one of the probes onto Fort Myers Beach.
Oh, this one's vertical. It's not like our 876 or there.
Probe number 2 deployed here in Port Charlotte, Florida, facing off toward some homes that are unfortunately in the surge zone.
Hurricane Ian is now a powerful Category 4 hurricane, and is expected to make landfall here in the next probably 10 hours or so. And 140-mile-an-hour winds are possible.
Special advisory is being issued to update Ian's forecast intensity. Recent NOAA and Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter flight level winds are as high as 160 knots, with SFMR data around 135 knots and a central pressure down to 937 millibars. This supports a current intensity of 135 knots. The forecast intensity is raised to 135 knots at landfall, and we are now forecasting catastrophic storm surge of up to 12 to 16 feet from Inglewood to Bonita Beach, Florida.
12 to 16 feet surge. Oh my God.
No other significant changes remain to the forecast. So that's right where our one probe is, because Inglewood is just north of Fort Myers Beach, Bonita is just south. So we have one probe in the absolutely catastrophic zone.
So many people still just driving around. It's close.
Ooh. It's starting.
That was lightning. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, jeez.
Man, look at all the damage already. Hasn't even started yet. Hasn't even started. It's just warm up. Oh my God. See you later, roof. Oh my God. There's one tree, two trees down already. Holy.
Ian's winds began to batter communities in Englewood. Further to the south in Fort Myers Beach, water slowly starts to fill the streets as storm surge begins to get pushed inland, and the fight for survival would soon begin.
Waters continue to steadily rise, and a door opens in the home of Todd and Annetta. Several moments tick by with a brief sigh of relief, seeing their car appear to be leaving in a last-ditch effort to escape. But this relief was short-lived, as Todd walks back across the street and re-enters the home for the very
He just parked it across the street. Oh my God. Get in your car and bloody leave, mate.
As Todd walks back across the street and re-enters the home for the very last time.
Hanging out, because that's what we did, you know? And we kind of went about with it, but everybody was kind of getting nervous, so.
That was, in my head at the time, that was like safe zone, you know? It's not gonna get up from all the way down the beach, all the way up across the street.
Look at it.
If I leave it here, the tires might get wet or something like that, you know? I didn't think like that would be the least of my worry.
Waters continue to surge into the street, and Annette's car is lifted off the ground and floats into the nearby harbor. Large debris can be seen floating across the street from neighboring homes and businesses being torn to pieces by the relentless waves.
I was just watching the water go from this much to this much to this, and that happened. It went from my ankles to my knees probably in like maybe like half an hour. I was looking outside. I kept trying to open the glass window and look outside.
If you saw that, you'd be pretty scared. Pretty scared. I was going to say something else there, but I won't. But that's terrifying. That's terrifying, watching the ocean come up. Because you can't stop it. It's too late to leave now. You're stuck there.
Half an hour.
You're stuck.
I was looking outside. I kept trying to open the glass window and look outside. And I see my neighbor's house floating right towards me. And I was like, I thought when his house bumps into my house, it's going to take the whole house out. And I was like, we gotta go. We gotta go. She already had a life jacket on because she put that on earlier, like as a joke.
It had the pins on it, so I ended up tying them up with my bag.
She cut the wakeboard rope off, tied it to one dog's collar and the other dog's collar, and then put it through her life jacket. And she went out the window because now I can feel the house is lifting up and slamming. You know, it's not even connected anymore. It's like boom. Boom.
The small house can take no more and begins to detach and crumble with Annette and their dogs still trapped inside.
I pushed them under the water and pushed them out of the window, and she pulled them with her. And now I'm inside the room still, but the dresser that was over there floated back here, and then floated hit me right in the back, and then the water went up. It was like a wave, like you look out the front window, you could see the sky at one point, and then you could see underwater at one point, and it just kept going like that, up and down. And I was getting hit up against the ceiling, like up against the corner of the ceiling wall. And as soon as I seen that the window was facing not underwater, I pulled it out. I pulled the whole frame out because there was only a little window. I couldn't fit through it. But that's when I cut myself right here. I pulled the window out, but then it went back underwater. And then I got pushed back up into the ceiling, and I had to dive under the water and find that window and swim out of the window and come back up.
Oh my God, that is bloody horrific. Oh my God.
Further to the north, Ian's ferocious winds now exceed over 140 miles an hour and tears the community of Englewood to pieces.
Jesus.
Ian continued to defy all forecasts and continued its southern trek, forcing us to make a decision.
Try and go east.
I don't think we're getting any third W.
Risk missing the eye, or battle the 150-mile-per-hour winds for 20 miles while dodging debris speeding by like bullets.
What's up? I don't know why he went downstream with the sheet metal. It's scary.
Jesus, look at that. That's horrific. That is scary as. Scary.
In the eye of Hurricane Ian. It was a little rowdy for a little bit, but now we're almost smack center in the middle. You can see behind me kind of the darker and the brighter areas. And now we're almost dead calm. So we did it. We navigated back east. And yeah, it's dead calm.
Back on Fort Myers Beach, Todd, Annette, and their 2 dogs continue to fight for their lives as they are swept away by the powerful current.
All I'm screaming, I never screamed so much in my life. Help, help, baby. I'm telling her to help me. She's screaming for me to help her.
I'm not letting go until he is out, and he got out.
And we just had no control over it. It's not like we swam to a perfect spot. We just got pushed. And she just grabbed onto the first tree. And there was a telephone pole in the water that I grabbed onto. But once I grabbed onto it, I looked at my arm was just bleeding. And I had no more energy to swim. My arms were tired. And I just let go, and I just gave up. I was like, this is the way I'm gonna go.
We were all just floating. There was no swimming. We were just floating with the house.
Glass and nails, and I had to climb up on top of that, scratch my whole chest, like climbing over it. And I didn't even have any energy. I don't know how I grabbed up and I pulled myself up onto their back porch.
Several unbearable hours go by after Todd and Annette get separated before a true miracle unfolds.
In that house, just thinking like, damn, man. I was just coming to terms with the fact that I lost my girl and I lost my dog. I heard screaming. I seen 3 little heads popping up in the water. That's how long she was in that tree. Must have been like at least like 3.5, 4 hours. And they were like hurting. They were like struggling to like stay above the water, even with the, like, cause she has 2 60-pound dogs tied to her. And with the life jacket, she's still like barely staying, like pushing the dogs up. And I jump back in the water, even with my arm. I jump back in, and when I grabbed one dog, because I know that they're all tied together, pull them all in, and they all just went in the house, and they all just threw themselves down and stopped. We all just started crying.
Ian's second eyewall continues to lash the Florida coast, with winds more powerful than the last.
You know, it could be literally the end of the world and people are out there with their telephones. Yep, got to record it. I mean, yeah, we're looking at the footage now, but man, it's like, come on. Some awareness how dangerous that is. God, you can't see a thing.
Conditions were now too dangerous for us to be outside, and were escorted back into the hotel for safety. But our shelter was now becoming damaged, as pieces of the roof were torn off and several windows busted out.
It's coming out of here.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, the electrical box,
Yeah, that's
little
not
conduit.
Leading to a steady stream of water leaking into some rooms.
That's not good.
Alright, so it's the end of our chase. It is still September
27th.
28th. And as you can see, we have no power. We actually had a really intense back side of the eye wall that we weren't expecting. We came back here to edit and kind of unwind. We actually got drilled by the strongest winds that we've had so far, and now the roof is missing.
Yeah.
And multiple windows have been broken out of other really nice old lady that gave me some snacks. It's like 50-50. People are really nice here, and then other people are getting a little rowdy, but you know.
And then we've got I just ran outside to configure a charging station, which I took out of one of the surge probes that we already recovered.
Yep.
That's should charge this, right? Maybe? Yeah. We are heading down to Fort Myers Beach. We're gonna see how close we can get. We know this area got record-breaking surge. Fort Myers Beach, at least over 10 feet. Fort Myers proper, at least 6 feet. So we're gonna see how close we can get. And we have a probe down there that is going to have some absolutely phenomenal footage. I mean, I don't even know what's on there. So we're gonna see if we can get it, but not sure we're gonna be able to get down there.
Wow, loving it.
We knew it was going to be bad, but nothing could have prepared us for just how bad Fort Myers Beach would be.
Jeez. Wow.
Places we saw just 24 hours prior lay in utter ruin.
Dang.
These were the houses. These were houses there that you had your probe on.
There's the probe. Made it. Somehow.
Overwhelmed with emotions, we watched in awe at what the probe had captured and quickly uploaded it to social media to get the word out just how truly bad it was. The video instantly went viral, and it wasn't until a few comments stating that they noticed someone peek their head out of the door and hoped they were okay that we realized someone was inside. The drive back to Tampa was silent, and our stomachs were in knots. thinking we had just uploaded someone's final moments for the world to see and felt like absolutely horrible human beings. But the following morning, we woke up to a message stating that they were a family member of the residents in the home and told us about the harrowing encounter and stated that they were alive. We breathed a huge sigh of relief and asked if we could help in any way. So we stocked up on supplies, and just 24 hours after we thought we captured someone's last moments on Earth, we were shaking their hands and even showed us the messages he sent to his mom the moment they realized that they were in trouble. 2 weeks later, we returned to Florida, and our newfound friends were ready to tell their story for the world to hear.
I want everybody to see that. Every single time there's a hurricane, even a Category 1 hurricane, if there's a little slight chance of a storm surge, show that video. Because it'll happen, especially if you live on the beach. It's not if it'll happen, it's when it'll happen. You know?
Thank you guys so much.
That was terrifying. Terrifying. Watching that water come up, how quickly as well. You know, you're the house is on stilts. You think, you know what? As you said, you know, the water's not going to get to the beach all the way up here. Even if it does, the house will be okay, you know. And then all of a sudden you're jumping out the window underwater because the house is underwater. It's like, that's some crazy stuff. That is some crazy stuff. That wind speed as well, 130, 140, 160 miles an hour. It's just like, that's crazy. That is crazy stuff. I can understand why the person who sponsored this video, why they left Florida. You know, if you have that all the time, you know, growing up, you know, as I said, I live by the beach as well. You get some wild weather, you know, and then sometimes you just go, you know what? Enough is enough. I don't need this. I don't need this in my life. I'm just going to move away. Yeah, I love the beach and whatever else, but I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to, it's just watching that, you know, brings back memories of, as a kid, you know, sitting in the house and waiting for the storm to pass and whatever else. Yeah, that's pretty scary stuff. Pretty scary stuff. I remember the Hurricane Ian, but obviously I living in Australia, I never knew any details and whatever else. I knew it hit America, but that was about it. But when you see it laid out there for you, it's just like, dang, that is some scary stuff. When he said, I knew I was in trouble when I saw my neighbor's house float past, it's like, yeah, that's probably a good point. That's probably a good point where you go, all right, I'm in some trouble. It's like, dang, that was a fascinating but very, very scary movie as well too. So very scary video. So let me know if you enjoyed that. Again, thank you very much, Rebecca, for sponsoring this one. Remember, if you want to sponsor your own video, all that information is down in the description, guys. Thank you very much for joining me today. Make sure you stay safe wherever you are, and I will definitely see you in the next reaction video.